This video is about buying your first commercial real estate deal. Everybody wants to know how you get into the commercial real estate market. Well, you saw my other videos. It gives you a good idea of what's going on, but I'm going to give you a little more assistance. So, here's the trick. The very first real estate deal, you're going to have to focus on apartments, 1 to 5 million, and supposedly, most likely, a cooperative seller, meaning A, it's off market, or B, you can talk directly to the owner, or C, we can structure a deal to where it works with, he's got equity. So you want to have those things so we can go ahead and close the deal. It's not the fact that you don't have the money, it's really the art of the deal. You don't ever really hear anybody saying this, like Grant Cardone and all these other bullshit artists that say, oh, pay us $2,000 so you can learn how to do this shit. No, they suck. They don't even know what the fuck they're doing, because if they did, they wouldn't be charging you $2,000 to go to their gay little course. When if you look at the real details of the way they structured it and stuff, half their little pictures of proof of what they have is not even real, because that doesn't even add up. They're obviously not being straight, but that's a whole other story. And it's not no syndicated deal where we put your money together and one guy rips you off. But anyways, my goal is you get the property, you set it up, you're going to coordinate it with the seller, you're going to tell them, hey, I'm going to pay you a little bit more money for helping me out, and then we're going to structure it to where like 6 months, a year, you give yourself 2 years, we're going to refinance and pay the guy off completely, and he'll probably carry back a second. That is going to be your first initial deal. This is really the art of the deal, which Donald Trump talks about, because it is the art of the deal. And no matter what, as a shrewd business investor, buying apartments and all this stuff, it doesn't matter if you got $1 or you got 20 million already. All these deals are basically the same model, same principle, same everything. And when you find a seller that has a lot of these deals, or able to, has been in the business, he knows the game, he knows what you're up to, and he likes it, and he will want to do it. Now, want to do it is, it could be he can not want to do it, but if you present it right and you show them the profit, they will normally do it. I mean, my goal is that you get your stuff done where you can bring me a guy to the table and I can get him on the phone and help you close the deal. But that requires you to come up with finding a cooperative seller, maybe throw out an LOI, your letter of intent, and say, hey, I plan on giving you, so if he wants like $2 million, I plan on giving you maybe like, I don't know, $2,500,000, $2,250,000 or whatever. It's got a cash flow. It's got to have the money or occupancy or ways for you to change it. But you got to get his ear and get his attention, and then we'll fill in the gaps later. So if you can get just a basic verbal agreement, or put the LOI together and structure it out, as in like I've got it on some other videos. Like you'll say, I want to pay $2 million. I'll give you an extra $2.5 million, or extra $2,250,000, however you want to do it, for helping me out and carrying the second mortgage. But when the numbers fall out, if it's off-market deal, it usually falls out where he's really probably either not carrying any loan at all, and every single time you're always going to pull out cash on every single deal. It's just, that's the structure and the numbers of the way it's going to be written up. But once you have gotten several calls out and you find the guys that are cooperative, or you find apartments in your general area, you're going to find the ones that want to sell, and you're going to make this agreement that you're going to look into it and try and get the deal done. And then you come up with the verbal agreement or some kind of letter of intent. And then if you need help, which I do with my other clients, we can do a conference call and I can go over the details. Your first apartment complex is going to be 1 to 5 million within the same state that you're in. Don't make it too difficult, but it can be in the same city. You go travel around, look at the apartments that are maybe class C or B buildings, where you could tell that the landlord's probably around it and probably doing a lot of the work. Those guys want to move and get those things out of their hands and get the cash and go on to the next deal, so they're going to be cooperative. The realtor ones, yeah, some realtors, maybe if you get the LOI or you write up the structure and you say, hey, kick this over to your owner and I'll pay you a little extra for just doing it, even though this is something you don't want to do. And yeah, of course you're all going to say, we don't want to do that, we don't want to carry it, we just want a cash buyer. Well, you say, asshole, well, if you want a cash buyer, why is it still on the fucking market? I'm going to buy your shit within about 2 weeks. So you send this over to them, your little loser realtor ass, and actually close the deal for once instead of killing the deal. Then we get a hold of the seller and we do this. And I get on the phone, we do the deal, structure it, and then I'll help you close it on the phone while the realtor listens and tries to interrupt and tries to screw up the deal. 99% of the time, if the seller's really about money and stuff, he won't listen to the realtor. So there's a lot of apartments and things that'll work like that. That's 1 to 5 million range, maybe a million range of apartments in your general area. Now, once we get that done, there's a couple ways to do it. We could do a straight up purchase under your name, refinance the whole property under a assumable loan, and he quick claims it over to you, and he walks away hands free, no strings attached. So now you're going to do this. You're going to be working on your credit, your own business, building that business up, and expanding on it while you're doing the real estate. Now, the real estate stuff can be very overwhelming and stuff, but I'm just saying, you got all your core businesses and things that you want to get into. So your main business, what you're going to do and expand. You got the real estate, you want to do the trucking, you want to do retail, you want to do medical, and then I got a whole nother level of stuff once you got this little foundation down of just bringing in cash and it's set on autopilot. Then you can really get into the bigger real estate and spend more time on it. But I'm just saying, put maybe, I don't know, an hour a day on each business you have. An hour a day on creating and developing it and expanding each one of those things. Then the more each of those go on their own, the less you have to spend on them, and then you can spend more time setting up on the new ones, and that's how you're going to build the pyramid of the base of your money. So don't get overwhelmed on the very beginning, but do spend that hour and get your money's worth out of your hour of work. And that means your mind's got to be straight, your attitude's got to be right, you got to be focused mentally and be able to do that. And like if you're breathing deep and you have like energy, it can be done. An hour's work would take, like, you know, a normal person, like, I don't know, 2 weeks to a month to do, because they're not focused and they're all over the place and their brain is stupid and they're not on their game. That also brings me up to the point of, like, Rockefeller. Why is he so rich and nobody else is not? Well, he is a tyrant of his own time. That means he has his own personal schedule. He's got his own way he does his things all day long. It's like on key, on point the whole day, from the minute he wakes up till the minute he goes to bed. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody he interacts with, he knows everything they said. He saves it all. It's in his mind. He takes notes. He's efficient, very productive. And by that as well, being a tyrant of yourself in your own time, you cannot have these sidetracked loser wastoids, be it the girlfriend that shows up or whatever, wants the money or whatever, she's around or whatever in your house or in your life. Kick that fucking shit out the door. Loser friends, loser whatever, get them out. They just suck up your time, and you should be radiating energy into these projects and getting things going. All these other people are sent to you to screw you up and put your mind in neutral. Just being in neutral, you think you're okay and they're all right people. No, that is kicking you back by like 20 years, because their brain is like 20 years in the past, worrying about whatever, beer, cigarettes, and all their bullshit. If they're just acquaintances or whatever, and they're going to be coming around you all the time because you're succeeding, and that is the devil's goal, and that's what happens all the time. So you're going to delegate the way you are from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed, and at night you're probably going to have your mind on the same stuff, and then things are going to start falling into place. Now, that's an hour on each of your projects. The rest of the day you can spread it out, put more time on other areas that need it, and then keep that routine, the routine. It's called a system. A system, the way you work, a system, the way you live, a system, the way you think. You're on these things. These are the core businesses. You got those under control. They're making cash. Bang. After that, when we get into the other levels, you can really build the company to where it's even making more money. That's the thing. These are just your foundation. This is like your first grade stuff. Once you get past the first grade stuff, then we're looking at the 5 million range of apartments. That's easy. You should be able to close that, pretty quickly. Then the main basic commercial stuff's like $20 million, and you're pulling out $1 million at a time. That's where your little foundation is. Once we're at that level, then you got all these other things. The whole issue from that point, which is easy, first grade shit, we're working on kindergarten. Once I got you at first grade, now we're on second grade. Second grade is making your income go from $10 million a month to $60 million a month. Sounds like a lot. No, it's not a lot. It's just going from the $10 million apartments up into hotels and closing on those. Same format, same model, same everything. And it's the same sales. Now, a lot of people are like, I can't get an apartment, so I don't have any money. Well, I hate to tell you, I have a shitload of money. I got more money than Grant Cardone and all these idiots showing off all their crap that they can't even do a real estate deal because all they're doing is fucking selling bullshit for $2,000 a seminar or $10,000 for his, and their real estate portfolio is like a baby kid's shit. I mean, that's like fucking retarded shit. It'd be embarrassing. I don't even know why he's on the internet. It's just stupid. And then you got the guys on Facebook saying, oh, I have a 200 apartments closed and blah blah. These morons are teaching crap because for $2,000 because, well, I'll tell you what, if you're in real estate and you're selling shit for $2,000 a seminar, you're not making dick, because you should be doing your real estate, making all the money, because that's where all the money's at. It's not in these seminars. These are just marketers just filling your head full of shit. And it just constantly drives me nuts because, man, I even see what the stuff they're talking about. It doesn't get you into the business. So, you got your $5 million deal. That's baby stuff, easy, assumable loan, boom. Or we do the seller carryback. Next level, $20 million up. I got you like, $500,000 or more by then. Then we're at $20 million and up apartments, and you're pulling out $1 million a deal. Then you're on this level, and we're closing like once a month, and I'm getting you to where we're closing once a week. That point, you're gonna go from $10 million a month income, and I'm gonna shoot you up to like $60 million a month on larger stuff, hotels and a little bit different type of civic type of stuff, projects. These are all still going to be debt financing. $10 to $60 million range. Boom. You got that. You got your hotel. You got your apartment portfolio. After that, we go to private equity on the big projects and the big money. That point, you're a billionaire. That should be only like 2 years out. Every one of you can do this. I mean, I've done it for people that are just, well, not even that bright. I mean, some of them are just, I don't know. I can name some people that are like, some is like one guy, he's a left-handed retard. He writes like a child. You'd think he's just incompetent. He has good social skills. He tried to do real estate and all this stuff, failed all licensing, all this stuff. Retarded on that level, but smart on the fact that he can focus in, hone on the sellers, and present them a winning strategy and close them. I mean, and then I've got other people that are OCD, and then they just overfill their shit with too much stuff. But the point is, it just takes one skill of connecting with the seller. I mean, it's really the art of the deal. It's not, because even if you have 20 million in the bank, you're not going to put your whole 20 million or 10 million or 5 million. You try not to even put 1 million down on all your next purchases for all these real estate apartments and things. You want to save all your cash and use them for other projects and try and manipulate the numbers, as well as getting into things. And of course, yeah, you got your baby $5 million apartment. We could take that and do a 1031 exchange on the 20 million, but we try not to do those because normally we don't even have to do that. That's kind of cheating because we don't really need to cheat. It's more fun, and it makes more money if you can maneuver the numbers and get all of your ducks in a row, like strategically, and state, what you're going to do for the seller and how he's going to make the benefit. I mean, we get all your loans 75, 80% LTV, but by the time I do side funding, while we're doing this, I got your corporation making $1 million in funding within like 6 months, easy. And then one commercial property on the corporation, a year later, that's a $10 million line of credit. That's boom, that's easy. But all these things, it's about the way you're going to structure and selling the deal. That's why, well, Donald Trump knows it. It's the art of the deal. It's not the art of the bullshit for $2,000 at some marketing campaign. It's structuring it and getting the seller on your side, and then we work the numbers and do the loans and get him the money. And the seller's like, well, I mean, they don't want to help you, but I can get you, 90%, 100. Like Grant Cardone doesn't even do more than 75% or whatever, because he's doing syndicated money. He's getting everybody else's group of money together, throwing the down payment down with everybody else's money. But we don't need that. I could get you the side money from other funding structures like one corporation, or we get that corporation where it's built up. I can diversify that corporation into different departments or different divisions, so your 1 million can literally turn into fucking, you got 10 divisions, that's $10 million, because you got $1 million approval each department. Boom, boom, boom. That's 10 million. That's not counting if a year later on each one of those 1 millions turns to 10 million each. So you're already at like funding of like a capacity around $50 million on corporations and things like that, all set up. And that works really easy, because I've got you doing the foundation for your work right now for like, well, you got the commercial real estate, you got your own business you're going to build. There's 2 corporations. Then you got trucking, that's 3 corporations. Then you got retail, that's 4 corporations. Then I got you, like I said earlier, the medical, which we've been pushing and building and doing the ED offices with the anti-aging and all that. That's 5 corporations. There you go. There's $5 million. There's $1 million credit lines for each of those, plus just a straight up funding one. That's 6 corporations, all with $1 million each, within like 6 months. A year later, and we have a commercial property on each one of those 6 corporations. There's 10 million at each 6 corporations. That's $60 million. Then you are going from 10 million a month to 60 million a month. And that's when we're going into the private equity. But all this is possible, and $1 billion isn't even that much money. It really isn't, especially when you get onto the bigger stuff. And the more money you make, the easier it is to make more money. But the problem is, everybody's stuck at this brain level. I can't do it. I don't have enough money, and I don't have enough funding. And when you look at every lottery winner, what's 99% of every lottery winner do? They go bankrupt. They go broke. Because their brain isn't functioning on what it needs to be functioning on. Closing deals and building your wealth. Everything else is a distraction. If a person isn't in your life building you, you gotta be real careful. If you're with a spouse or your girlfriend or whoever you're hanging out with, they're not on the same page. Most likely, if you're going big numbers and stuff, they're not. So you really gotta be careful, because your days and your time are gonna disappear like nothing. You may not think they're affecting you, but if you're not looking at yourself like, what has been the peak point in my life that I produced the most and got the most accomplished? What was happening? Well, if you look back at it, you're going to be like, well, that was when I got rid of all these people. That was when I was dead focused on shit, and I was getting up early and I was doing this, and I get all this stuff, and I'm working 18 hours a day or 15 hours a day or whatever, and boom, 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 you're getting all that stuff done, and it's banging out. Things are happening. Boom, boom, boom. Now, everybody slips back because, you don't realize it. It sneaks up on you, and you're back to neutral. So, get that stuff out. Get your schedule down. Spend at least a hardcore hour on each of your projects, each of your businesses, while you keep growing it. The more each of these grows, the more you can get into other things. And the whole other thing, which I haven't really said about, is that this is just your foundation. Once you have the other you have the money, you have money for other easier things that are completely on autopilot. They don't even like this at all, because you can take more risks. And the more risk you take, the more money you make. So, but you got to be smart. If you're smart about everything, it's not risk, because you're smart on what's going on and how things are working. That's how money is made. So, start your first apartment. Spend an hour a day, hardcore hour a day, either going to the local ones around you that need a little work on them, or you see the owners around there, or you're going to look on, like I mentioned earlier, you got like LoopNet, Craigslist, different sites where you're going to find that. You do the core businesses, and then we're going to go strictly into business starting and business buying. But you got to have the foundation going. And the first business you're going to buy may be like this ED office, you want to get into that, or the medical barrier entry medical offices, be it like chiropractor, doctors, veterinaries, all those guys that are retiring. You're going to take that over, you're going to kick it into 24-hour mode, you're going to specialize another level on it, like children's, old people's. Veterinarians can be specialized in cancer, eyes, whatever, along with the emergency clinic, which makes tons of bank, and emergency chiropractic, emergency doctor, which would be your walk-in clinic with the specialization in like MRIs or all these other things. That don't even take that much, because the owner's going to stay on board at least 1 to 2 years in normal every scenario, and you're going to give them a flat fee of whatever they agree on, and funding on that is easy because they always got to stay on, and they know that, so that's how you structure the deal. So all these deals are going to play into pieces of the puzzle. When the puzzle starts coming together, like a year from now, if you do this in the order I'm talking about and the way you structure your day and you manage things, before you know it, you're going to wake up one day and be like, oh shit, I almost got $1 billion fucking dollars. And you won't even realize it. And that's only like, if you get on it, maybe like 100 million, that's probably like, if you pull your cards right, $1 million, that's that you pass out like yesterday. You're talking like 100 million's like maybe a year out. Well, 2 years if you're slow. I would say 2 years if you're slow. But that's how things work. You gotta focus. Be careful how your mind is going, and realize zero money and a lot of money, the way you close deals is the exact same way. So that's how you get your first apartment. 1 to 5 million to begin with, because they're super easy, or it's apartments, or motels are even easier, or you want to go down to the slum lane like mobile homes and RV parks. That's slumming it, but it's all the same transactions. It's all easy. Apartments super easy, motels are even easier, then you got the rest. But nothing happens if you don't put your mind on it and get rid of all the stuff that's slowing you down and really preventing the scenarios from entering into your life, a lot of it, and then it'll all fall into place. Okay, well, that was a long video, but thanks for listening. Hit the subscribe button. Boy, that sounds so funny. And basically, I don't care if you subscribe, but I'm just saying, if you get me the deals and you do your part and you get me on the phone where you got your part, I will help close that thing, and I'll get the real estate done, and we'll get it going in your name and keep going and going. That's the fun part. The more deals you get, the more fun it is closing, because everything is about making money and making more businesses work and getting them closed and going. Okay, thanks. Talk to you later.